Hey y'all, as you can see, if you love my lovely headwear, this gives you a better perspective and point of view of when you're driving and the things that you're doing, so you feel free to laugh. But now we are getting ready to head out, and I've gone through everything you need to do, the steps you need to take to make sure everything is clear so you can take off. So now we're going to head out and go find a gas station to try and get some gas.
All right, y'all. And I apologize for the noise. But we are pulling out of our spot, and as you can see, she's making a wide turn. Making sure she can make that. And then she'll just slowly make her way down here.
So we're gonna head out, see if we can find a gas station. And one thing that you need to know when driving an RV, especially the flat front, it's very different. So you have to kind of find a spot basically on the windshield that allows you to know and understand where you are on the road. Some people will even put a little piece of tape so they know that's where they need to stay in the road. But we'll get back to that in just a minute. As you can see, there's a gas station right here. Now, the problem with this gas station is it's smaller, there's not a lot of clearance, and there's really nowhere to pull in where I could basically have a straight shot to the pump. So we're going to go on down and see if we can find another one. Now, the other thing you have to remember is when you're pulling out or pulling in somewhere, you just have to make sure that you have plenty of clearance of traffic, first of all. And second of all, you have to make wider swings because your back end obviously is longer, and you don't want to, take out a pole or, hit another car, or it's just a lot of things you have to be careful of. And when you're driving an RV, you just, you have to be patient. You have to take your time. You have to just know that you're not in a hurry, because these take a lot more to stop. And we have much more of an appreciation for 18-wheelers and those that drive the trucks, because it's basically kind of the same thing. So you just have to be patient. You have to just be aware of your surroundings and just, cruise right along. You cannot go as fast as you normally could in an RV. You have to go, probably the safest, depending, is 60 to 65 miles an hour. And that's about it, especially on the interstate.
Now, why are we picking this place?
Well, as you can see, this one over here, this Pilot, is okay, but from what I can see, there's really no way to kind of get in there and be able to get gas and then pull right back out. So I think I'm going to try this Speedway over here.
Yeah.
Because it's bigger. It obviously
has entrances on both sides.
Looks like, I can see.
Looks like the road goes all the way around it.
Yeah, I have a straight shot to pull out and plenty of room to swing.
And now, what about stopping in one of these?
Now, when you stop, you have to allow yourself plenty of room. You can't just slam on your brakes. I mean, you can, but even when you do that, you're not going to stop immediately like you would in a car. So, you obviously can't tailgate. You have to allow yourself plenty of room to stop. There are, people out there that don't understand, and they'll try and cut you off, and, So I'm going to turn in here, and as you can see, we've got to make a wide turn. Just watch all your sides. And I think I'm going to go around this way. get the end pumps, just because it makes it a lot easier.
You don't have to worry so much about getting blocked in.
You don't have to worry about getting blocked in. You don't have to worry about cars. And as you can see, I'm kind of swinging out, just watching my side. And you also...
You watching that in the mirror over there? How close you get?
I'm watching it in the mirror. And not only do you have to be aware of what's around you as far as the gas pumps and doing all that, you need to be aware and know your height of the RV. And that is one of the important questions, not only for gas stations, but, for bridges, for anything of that matter. You could be going down the road, and we've seen plenty of RVs get stuck. You could lose, your air conditioner off the top because it's actually higher than the RV.
Yep.
So that's what you've got to be aware of.
Yeah, and everyone has a little bit different height, so that'll be in the owner's manual, and then most all overheads and awnings like this are marked somewhere with what height they are.
Yeah, and normally, most of the time, if you stop at like an actual truck stop, gas station, you should have no problems. All those are high enough. You should have no problems. But when you get into these smaller areas, smaller towns, that's where you have to really watch it. And if you see one and you think, I don't know, that doesn't look, don't do it. Just move on. And I try to normally, when the tank gets to a half a tank, that's when we start looking for gas stations. Whether we're on the interstate, there's some apps that we have that we'll go over.
Right.
You can look at an app, you can find gas stations, you can find a truck stop. Whether you're on a U.S. highway, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can still use that to find the closest gas stations and, just get a point of view of what they look like so you know if you can stop, because you can't do U-turns. I mean, you could, but it's a little tough. So, especially if you're pulling something behind you. So just I can't stress enough, be aware of your surroundings, take your time, be patient, and just enjoy yourself. It doesn't have to be stressful. Another thing you need to be aware of is when you are driving, especially on the interstate, and you go to change lanes, or you're merging onto the interstate from an exit. You have to make sure you have plenty of room to get over. You have to signal way ahead of time, and you have to constantly be aware, because they'll see your turn signal, you're trying to get over, and all of a sudden somebody will whip around you because they don't want to be behind you. And that's fine, but just be aware of that. Allow plenty of clearance, make sure nothing's over there. You've obviously got to watch the person in front of you. If you're trying to get over, obviously it's a slower moving vehicle than what you're doing, and you've got to give yourself enough clearance in the front to get over. So just be aware and, just be safe. Alright guys, we are back in, and now we're going to take off. So where are we going? Yeah. So as you can see, there is a way out just right here. Now I'm going to have to, turn a little bit. So I want to watch my mirrors. I want to watch especially the gas pumps. Make sure there's no cars. You got to watch your swing. And even though it looks like a straight, you still have the back end that you have to watch because you're still turning a little bit. So we've cleared the pumps. Now we're going to head out. And people will get mad because, like I said before, you have to make sure you have enough clearance of cars coming when you're pulling out of somewhere, And normally what you could pull out and go in a car, you can't in an RV because it takes more to get them going. So you just need to be aware of that also. It's all clear.
Some of these noises.
Yeah, we're coming up on a bump, so.
Vibrations. There you go. So we have nothing in this RV because it's a rental. We're actually returning it today. That's just the RV. And you know, sometimes you'll find the source of the rattles and you can tighten stuff up. Sometimes you don't. And you know, when we were talking about plates and other things, you know, you just have to be aware. The more stuff you load in, the more stuff it is to rattle. And I will say, eventually you get used to it, but in the beginning, it's pretty nerve-wracking.
It can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're trying to, you know, you're a first-time driver and you're trying to, you know, watch the road and watch the people around you. It can be a little nerve-wracking, but it's something you get used to. So I'm going to make a wider turn, watch my back swing.
So in this case, we just had to pull into a gravel lot here.
Yeah. And, you know, one other thing that might be more of a common sense thing, but just a reminder, when you park, when you're stopping, whatever, obviously you put it in park, always put your emergency brake on. Always. I don't care if you're stopping for 5 minutes. Always put your emergency brake on. It's just kind of a safety thing, and you never know, you know, things happen, just like in a car. But these are a lot bigger, you know, things to drive around and to hold in place. So just make sure that you always put your emergency brake on. And a lot of things, I won't say a lot, but there are some things in an RV that will not operate unless the parking brake is on. So you just need to be aware of that also.
Yeah, and one thing we didn't talk about, if you want to show them, are the cameras.
So this right here is the rear camera. It stays, you can change it if you want to, but I never do. Even in our RV that we had, I never changed it because this gives you a view of what's behind you. So it's almost like your rear view mirror that you have in your car. It just allows you to see what traffic is back there, if there's anything, you know, back there that you could hit. It's just, it comes in handy, and it stays on as you're driving down the road.
Or if you're trailering something, you can see the trailer, make sure nothing's going on with
exactly.
it. Now show them when you put it in gear and put your blinker on, how it switches to the, does this have side mirror?
Yeah.
Alright.
So
put it in.
So I'm going to put it in gear, and when I do that, oh, this is telling me that my parking brake is engaged. So I'm going to, there we go. Now, I'm going to put one of the blinkers on, and there it goes. It shows you
that side,
the left side, which is what I have on. So then I'll turn it back off, and then I'll go to the right side, and then you can see it has that view. And then I'll turn it off, and it may take it a minute, and it could be because I have it in drive, but we'll just put it back in park. Parking brake on, and there we go. It flips back to the back. So it is helpful. I wouldn't get, like, when turning and things like that, I would recommend not using the camera, just because you need to be looking in your mirrors, because you can get a better point of view on what's beside you. But you know, while driving down the road, that really helps.
Yeah, it helps so you know if cars are in your blind spot, or if something's behind you. Like if you see you're gonna have to make a quick stop, traffic slowing down, you know what's behind you. Again, if you're trailering something, you can tell if something's going on with the trailer. So, and let's talk about the tape on the windshield again.
Yeah.
So you pick a spot in the, what do you do? Pick a spot in the middle of the road? Do you pick a spot that's the line? How do you do that?
What I do is, you know, obviously there's no front end. So usually with a car, you don't realize how much the hood helps you. So there is no hood on these. So what I do is, when I first start driving, I just kind of get used to, you know, where I am on the road. You get a feel for it eventually. I keep looking in my mirrors down, especially with this bottom mirror, because it shows you where the lines are on the side of the roads. And then you can kind of go from there. And a lot of people, once they get that, it's just like a spot on your windshield. And it's like, okay, I know if I look right here at this part of the road as I'm driving, I'm going to be in between the lines. I know, honestly, we didn't do that on our other RV, but I knew
You had a spot.
I had a spot, and honestly, it was the windshield wiper. It was the very edge of the windshield wiper on the driver's side, and if I kept that in the center of the road, basically, I was in the center of the road between the lines. So it's just a matter of, you know, how you want to do it. And like I said, some people put a little piece of tape down there on the windshield, and that way they know at all times if they're, you know, now obviously if you're on smaller roads and not a normal interstate, you know, you'll need to kind of readjust, but that's normally not for that long of a time. A lot of times you're going to be on interstates.
Right. And that spot's going to be different for everybody, right?
Yeah,
Because everybody has a different driving position and all those things.
Everybody's sitting, you know,
differently.
Obviously I'm vertically challenged. So I have to sit higher than most people. I have to sit forward, you know, than most people. And so, yeah, it's just a matter of where you're positioned in your driver's seat and where you have to be, you know, and what's comfortable.
Yeah, and your eyesight. I mean,
Yeah.
really, what
Yeah.
you're, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I think that wraps up the driving portion of our RV series. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure and hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when we post new content. Also, if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below and we will do our best to answer all of them. And just remember, until next time,
Live your best life.
bye, y'all.
See ya.